Hello, my first graders. Today we're working on lesson 5.2, and that's page 261 in your math book. So pause the video, find this page, and then hit play when you're ready. All right, so today we're going to talk about related facts. Boys and girls, when we make one problem plus or minus, we can make three other problems using those numbers, okay? And I'm going to show you how to do that today because like we've been talking about in all our previous lessons, addition and subtraction, they go together. We can use either one to help us get answers. So we're going to look at how to use that today. So I'm going to start down here with the problem. Colin has 7 crackers. He gets 1 more cracker. How many crackers does Colin have now? Which side am I going to use? If he gets more crackers, 1 more cracker, is that a plus problem or a minus problem? It's a plus problem, right? More means plus. So Colin has 7 crackers. He gets 1 more cracker. How many crackers does Colin have now? Well, I'm going to use some cubes to show you that. So here's 7, and then he gets 1 more. So let's look at this now. So we have 7, and then 1 more makes 8. So 7 plus 1 equals 8. So he has 8 crackers now. All right, now we're going to hear another problem, okay? So we'll move on to this. Colin has 8 crackers. He gives 1 to Jacob. How many crackers does Colin have now? So let's write that down. He has 8 crackers. He gives 1, so that's a minus, right? Because when you give something, you're taking away. He gives 1 to Jacob. How many crackers does he have now? So let's use our same cube train, right? We have 8 crackers, right? Here's our 8. 7 and 1 is 8. And if he gives 1 away, I can take this 1 off, right? How many does he have now? So 8 minus 1 is, how many do we have in the green? Do you remember? 7, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, these problems go together. As you saw, I didn't change my cube train, did I? I used the same ones. I had 7, this is 7, and this is 1. And actually, you know what I'm going to do just to help us see it and remember it? I'm going to put a little sticky on it. We know that these green are 7, right? I counted them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So look, I'm going to put a 7 on there. And we can see that that's 1, so I don't need a sticky on that, do I? Right? So we had, in this problem, we had 7, these 7, plus 1, and we said 7 plus 1 more is 8. So here we have a full problem, don't we? 7 plus 1 equals 8. So we have a 7, we have a 1, and then this whole thing equals 8. Now watch how we can make a related minus problem. Remember, here was our 8, right? 7 and 1 is 8. This whole thing is 8. If I take 1 away, that leaves us with 7. We're using the same numbers to come up with a plus problem and a minus problem. We use the number 7, right? We had 7. We used the number 1. And then when we had them all together, right, that gave us 8. So those are our 3 numbers. That was our first problem, 7, the 1, and the 8. So we have these 3 numbers, and we can use them to make plus problems and minus problems. Now, you don't need to write this down. I just want you to watch so that you understand, okay? We had 7 plus 1 equals 8. Hey, we can make another plus problem, can't we? Do you remember what we can do? Remember how we can turn things around, right? When I turn that around, right, we had it this way, 7 plus 1. Now what's our turnaround fact? What do we have starting first now? 1 plus, how many was that? 7. And does it still equal 8? It does. We don't need to count them all over again, do we? We didn't change any of our numbers. We still had the 7, we had the 1, and we said all together it equals 8. We just switched it around. Remember, no matter how we turn it, it's still going to be 8. So that gave us 2 plus problems. I want to point out to you, though, in our plus problems, where's our biggest number? Is our biggest number at the beginning or at the end? At the end, right? There's our 8. Remember, the answer to a plus problem is always the biggest number, right? In a plus problem, the biggest number is at the end. Okay, then we made a minus problem, right? We took our 8, and we said, oh, here's my 8, right? And nothing's changed. I take 1 away, and that leaves me with those 7. So here's our problem down here that we wrote. 8 minus 1 equals 7. We started with our biggest number, right? Minus problems. We start with our biggest number, and then we take away a small number. So this time I took the 1 away. What if I don't want to take the 1 away? What's the other number I can take away instead of this 1? Could I take the 7 away? These 7 cubes? Yes, I can. Oh, so if I had 8, right? I had 8. I'm going to take away this group of 7. How many do I have left now? 1. Right? So 8 minus 7 equals 1. Now, remember, again, I had to start with my biggest number because our minus problem, we always start with the biggest number. And then I took away one of the small numbers, and it gave me the other one. Notice I didn't use any other numbers. I only used 7, 1, and 8. Look at these problems. 1, 7, 8, 1, right? Only those numbers. Sometimes we call them, instead of, we call them related facts or fact families. Maybe you heard that word before. Okay, and the reason why we call them related, think about related. That means they are part of your family, right? So we don't want any strangers to come into our house. These guys, right? They're all part of a family. When you get your numbers, right, your related numbers, you can't let anybody in. So that means you can only use those numbers to make your problem. Okay, nobody else. Think about it as a family, right? A family, or people who are related, right? Related means part of your family. We don't let any other numbers in because they're not part of the family. They don't want any strangers in. All right, so this is what we're going to be working on today. On to the next page. All right. It says, how can one model help you write 4 related facts? So again, one model means once you have one problem, plus or minus, we can use that problem to write other problems. So let's look at this. Here's their cubes. They have 4 red, 5 blue, and all together it equals 9. Now that you have those numbers, the 4, the 5, and the 9, we can use them to write our other problems. One of the things I like to tell people is take those numbers and write them down. We have a 4, we have a 5, we have a 9. Okay. That means once we have one problem, those are the 3 numbers we have to use now. They're related, okay? They're part of our family. Look at those numbers. Which one's the biggest number? the 9. So I'm going to put a little dot above the 9. That reminds me, this is my biggest number, and I have to be careful with where I stick it. Remember, biggest number is always at the end of a plus problem, right? But it's at the beginning of a minus problem. Minus problems start with that big number. So let's look at the other problems that they made using these 3 numbers. Here's your plus problems. So they did a turnaround fact, right? Instead of 4 plus 5, 5 plus 4. They turned it around. Do you see that 9? 9's at the end of the plus problem. Then look over here. Here's their minus problems. You remember, biggest number, you have to start with the biggest number. 9, take away one of the small numbers, the 5 equals 4. And then here's the other minus problem. 9, start with the biggest number, take away the other small number, right? And it equals one of our small numbers. See how they go in our family. All right, so we're going to try it over here. Look at these. Which one of these problems probably is the easiest one for us to solve? Okay, we want a problem that looks normal. It probably would be the 7 plus 8, wouldn't it? Right? 7 plus 8. But because 7 plus 8, right, is straightforward. Now, what's 7 plus 8? Well, we can solve that, can't we? Right? So we can put 8 in our head and 7 on our fingers, right? Let's practice. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 7 plus 8 equals 15. Okay, we solved that problem. We have all numbers. Once we have those 3 numbers, we're going to write them down. I'll put them over here. We have a 7. What's the next number we used? 8. What's the other number? 15. Okay, which one's the big number? The 7, the 8, or the 15? 15. So let's give it a dot. Okay, that lets us know, hey, it's like almost like a star on top of his head, right? It's the biggest number. So now we're going to use those numbers to help us figure out the rest. So let's look here. Here's another plus problem. And hey, here's our 15 already. So we could have used this problem, these other numbers, to help us figure out what 3 numbers we're putting together, since we know that these are related facts. They told us. So let's see. We have 8 plus something equals 15. Well, here we use the 8. Here we use the 15. Oh, look, that's my big number. I'm going to put a dot on it, right? There it is too. What number did we not use? We used the 8. We used the 15. What's our other number? 7. We didn't use this 7. So 8 plus 7 equals 15. Because remember, these related facts, they told us we're making related facts. So these all have to go together. And look at this. 7 plus 8, 8 plus 7, right? We did our turnaround facts. We turn them around. Now we have our minus problems. So we have 2 plus problems. We need 2 minus problems. We start with our biggest number, 15, minus 7. Oh, what's the other number we didn't use? Here's our 15. We took 7 away. What's left? 8. All right, now look at this one. They want us to fill this one out. Hey, it's a minus problem. So let's think this through. Remember, we can only use these 3 numbers. So let's think, for a minus problem, what number do we have to start with? Yes, the biggest number. So what's our biggest number? 15. We have to start with 15. It's our biggest number. Here we took 7 away. So what should we take away this time instead of 7? What number should we take away? 8. Hopefully you didn't say 4, right? It has to be one of these numbers. 15, take away 8. 15, take away 8. What's left? What number did we not use? 7. 15 minus 8 equals 7. Okay, so again, we only use these 3 numbers. Okay, once we made our problem and we realized, hey, once you have a straight through problem, you know, hey, these go together. Okay, we took our 2 small numbers, we added them together, got our big number, wrote them down, and then we were ready to solve. Okay. I'm going to show you real quick with our cubes just so you can see. So here's my 7 again. Here is 8. So look at these big numbers. So we started with our 7 plus 8, right? Then we did our turnaround fact, 8 plus 7. Okay, and then we did our minus problems. 15 minus 7 is 8. 15 minus 8 is 7. Okay, so notice how I didn't change the numbers we were using. I didn't add different cubes here. I stayed with my 8 and my 7 and my 15 to make those problems. All right, number 2. Look at these problems. Which one is the easiest one to solve? Which one looks straightforward, like a normal problem? This one, right? 9 plus 5 equals blank. Okay, so we need to solve this. Or, because we know this is a related fact, can we look in here and see what's the other number? I see a 9, a 5, so there's a 9. There's a 5. What's the other number you see? That 14 right there, isn't it? So 9 plus 5, what's the number that we need to use? 14. Hey, and we can check that, can't we? I can put 9 in my head and 5 on my fingers. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. It equals 9 plus 5 equals 14. So take these 3 numbers, we're going to write them over here. 9, 5, 14. Give that biggest number a dot. There it is. Okay, so you have 9, 5, and 14. I took those numbers right from the problem that I made. I can only use these numbers now. So let's look at this. Something plus 9 equals 14. Well, we used the 9 and the 14. What number did we not use? 5. If 9 plus 5, we had 9 plus 5, now we have 5 plus 9. We did a turnaround fact. Look at the minus problem. 14 minus something equals 5. Okay, so let's see what we used. 14, missing number, and 5. What's the other number we didn't use? 9. So we have our 14, we have our 9, we have our 5. Okay, this one we have to make all on our own. It's a minus problem. So think, minus problem, we start with a what number? Biggest number. So what's our biggest number? 14, right? 14 is our biggest number. Okay, last time we took 9 away. How many are we taking away this time instead of 9? What's our other number we can use? 5. So 14 minus 5 equals, what's the last number we have? 14, we use 5, 9. So 14 minus 9 equals 5, and then we switch these ones. 14 minus 5 equals 9. All right, boys and girls, you are going to try this one down here. Look through. Which one's the easiest to solve? Probably this one, right? Okay, so you can either solve it or look and see. Write your 3 numbers and you're going to fill this in. Pause. Right. If you're hitting play, that means you're ready to check your work. I hope you have this filled in. Okay, so 6 plus 7 equals 13. You should have written your numbers on the side. 6, 7, and 13. 13 got the star because it's got the dot because it's the biggest number. Now we use these numbers to fill these in. Okay, you should have had a 6 here, right? Turnaround fact. The only number we didn't use. 13 minus 6. Well, here's our 13. Here's our 6. What's the number we didn't use? 7. 13 minus 6 equals 7. Now we had to create one on our own. It was a minus problem. You had to start with your biggest number for a minus problem. Last time we took 6 away. This time we should take 7 away. And then our answer would be 6. It's the only number we didn't use. So hopefully when you did this, you stayed with your fact family, the 6, 7, and 13. If you used any other number in there, it wouldn't be correct. Okay. Also, these are the spots that they have to be in. There's no other spots. Okay. So this is the only answer choice we have. All right. Now we're going to look over here. Okay. I want you to try number 4. So you're going to look through which one's the easiest one to solve. You're going to solve it. Write your 3 numbers, what 3 numbers are in our family, and then use those numbers to solve the rest. All right, if you're watching, that means you solved these problems. You made all 4 of them. All right, if not, pause it and finish. All right, so we looked at this. This was the easiest one to solve. 8 plus 5 equals 13. And we also could see that 13 was the other number that we had in here. We had an 8, we had a 5, and 13. Remember, if they're related, right, we have to use all the numbers. So we wrote 8, you should have a 5, and you should have a 13. And the 13 gets the star, that gets the dot because it's the biggest number. Right, then you filled these out. Here's our turnaround fact. We have an 8. We have our 13. What number did we not use? 5. Or we think 8 plus 5, 5 plus 8, right? Then we have our minus problem. 13 minus something equals 5. Well, here's our 13. We used our 5. What's the other number we didn't use? 8. Now we need another minus problem. Okay, remember minus, we have to start with 13. It is our biggest number, right? Minus problems, we always start with the biggest number. Last time we took 8 away, so this time, what's the other number we have to use? 5. And then if 13 minus 5 equals, what's the last number? 8. Okay, we stayed in our family. Boys and girls, you are going to try number 5 and number 6. Actually, you're going to try number 5. Wait on number 6 because I want to point something out, okay? You're going to do number 5. Look and see what, write your 3 numbers, okay? Fill in your problems. All right, if you're hitting play, that means that you did number 5. You're ready to check your work. Here we go. This was the easiest one to solve. 8 plus 9 is 17. That was our biggest number. You have your 3 numbers that you wrote out, 17 being the biggest one. Then you use them to fill in. This one is 9, right? 8 and 17. 9's the other number. 17, 9. What's the missing number? 8. And then we had to write our own minus problem. Remember, minus problems, we have to start with the biggest number. Last time we took 8 away, so this time we're taking 9 away. And what's our other number? 8. All right. Look at this one. I was going to have you do this, but I want you to take a look real quick. None of these problems look normal, do they? No, right? There's not a regular number all the way through. However, we have 3 different numbers here, don't we? Look through. What are the numbers that you see in this problem? You see a 9. What's the other number? There's a 6. What's the other number? 15. So even though we don't have a normal problem from this one, we still see 3 numbers in here, right? And we said these are all related, so we know that they have to go together. 15 is our biggest number, so it gets a dot. Now that you have all 3 numbers, I want you to use these 3 numbers to finish filling this in. Think about, right, what number is missing in each one. Hit play when you're ready to check. All right, 9 plus 6 equals 15. That was the missing number. 6 plus 9 equals 15. Hey, turnaround facts. All right, we have a 6 and we have a 9. What are we missing? The biggest number. What was our biggest number? 15. That goes there. Now look down here. Here's our minus problem. What number do we have to start with? 15. Last time we took 6 away, so this time we're going to take 9 away, and it equals 6. Notice I didn't even have to do any adding or subtracting. I just knew that if these numbers are related, it let me know how to make my problems. All right, math on the spot. If you need to pause to fix something, go ahead. It says circle the number sentence that has a mistake. Correct it to complete the related fact. Okay, these are supposed to be related. However, something is wrong. One of these problems is not right. So let's look and see, well, what numbers are we using in here? We're using a 7, a 9, and a 16, right? And what number is the biggest number? 16. Okay, so let's look. 7 plus 9 equals 16. Was that right? Did we take our 2 small numbers together to get a big number? We did. Look at this. 16 plus 9 equals 7. Is that right? Do we take our 2 small numbers to get a big number? Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not right, is it? If you have 16 and you get 9 more, it doesn't equal 7, does it? This is our big number. This is wrong. When we start with our biggest number, what kind of problem does it need to be? A plus problem or a minus problem when we start with our biggest number? A minus problem. So it can't be plus, it has to be minus. So let's turn this into a minus problem. 16, right, because that's our biggest number, minus, what do we minus? 9 equals 7. Does that work? Can we take our big number, take a small number away to get the other small number? Yes. Remember, when you're doing a minus problem, you must start with the biggest number. All right. It says choose 3 numbers to make related facts. Choose a number between 0 and 18. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give us 3 numbers. And I want you to take those 3 numbers and make your related facts. Remember, we need 2 plus problems and 2 minus problems. Okay, so we know 2 plus problems, and we can fill that in right away, and 2 minus problems. We know that. So I'm going to give you numbers. You ready? I'm going to give you the number 5, the number 3. So in order to get my last number, I can't make that up. I have to, do you remember what I have to do? I have to take these two numbers, add them together to get my last number. Because remember, in order to be related, you have to have a regular problem. So I need to make my regular problem first to see what my last number is, okay? So 5 plus 3. So I'm going to put 5 in my head, 3 on my fingers. You ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. So 5 plus 3 is 8. So now that I made a regular problem, now I have my 3 numbers. I'm going to use my 5, my 3. What's my last number here? 8. Now I have all my numbers. Oh, which one's my big one? This one, right? Okay, so now I have these 3 numbers. You're going to take these 3 numbers. I need another plus problem, and I need 2 minus problems. Go ahead and solve. All right. If you're hitting play, that means that you solved these problems and you're ready to check your work. All right. I needed another plus problem. So instead of 5 plus 3, I had to turn this around. 3 plus 5, and it still equals 8. Okay, 5 plus 3, 3 plus 5. I turn my small numbers around. They equal my big number right here. My minus problem. What number did I have to start with? I had to start with 8. I have to start with 8 down here too, don't I? Right? You have to start with the biggest number, so I can just fill that in. 5 minus, what number could I take away? I'm sorry, 8 minus, what could I take away? The 5, couldn't I? 8 minus 5 equals 3. And then 8 minus, last time I took 5 away, so this time I'm going to take the 3 away. Oops, I forgot my equal sign. Need my equal sign. Equals 5. It's my missing number. All right, boys and girls, if you had trouble with this, you might want to ask somebody at home to give you 2 numbers, okay, and let you practice figuring out how to get the big number. Okay, so you might want to try another one of these if you had any trouble with this, because this is going to show up again. Okay, and we're going to have a little quiz that's going to have this on it. All right, number 9. Which fact is a related fact? Look, they made our 2 plus problems. Here's 1 minus. So what kind of problem are we missing? Are we missing another? Do we need 3 plus problems? No, right? We're missing a minus. I want you to look through these. Which is the problem that is missing? We did a 9 minus 3, so what would be the next one? Right, if you're hitting play, you have your answer. Okay, we said it has to be a minus problem, so we know those ones are out, right? Because we have 2 plus problems, now we need 2 minus problems. Would I do 9 minus 6 or 6 minus 3? Well, think, what do I know? My minus problem has to start with the biggest number. So, hey, it has to be this one. 9 is my biggest number, so my problem has to start with that number 9. All right, boys and girls, we're going to do some more practice. Remember, again, if you struggled on this, you might want to ask Mommy to give you 2 numbers to help, and you try to figure out the rest.